Back again in Faerun. Last time when we left off, we had entered the Mountains Toe gold mine with Don John Raskin and helped him to kill some of the varmints, in his words, that had staked it out. I believe we had just finished some combat when we quit last time. In the room with the X on it, as a matter of fact. And I guess I will just throw it to the party.
Those were-rats weren't particularly challenging, I don't think.
I'm just glad I can finally talk again.
Your voice, it has returned.
Are we sure? Are we certain that was everyone?
I don't know that we are certain. We have not checked the entire mine. Don John, how much more of the mine do we have to traverse?
Well, I think we got some rooms to the north and a few to the south and some to the east and maybe one or two to the west.
A little of everything.
Let's consult the map one more time.
We should not claim victory just yet.
Seems to me we were gonna go up north to those three rooms in the north before we check this room. Does that sound familiar to anybody else?
I did suggest that, yes.
I think that's the way we were gonna head.
Except for Nars here decided that we were going to burst in this room surprisingly.
Hey, I was getting a bad case of indigestion.
Seems that your indigestion detected something.
You know what? I think that was the smart move to go ahead and find a huge gathering of them. You heard what they were saying through the door, yeah? You heard a big group in here, and you just had to get something off your chest. I've been there before.
Yes, there's something out of my chest. I say we go clear out these rooms.
Let me just backtrack for a second as the DM to remind you of one other thing. We did search this room. That's how we ended the session. We searched the room. We found. Does anybody remember what we found?
Didn't we find some gold ore or something? Pieces of gold?
Correct.
Yeah, I still need to add that to the equipment list for the.
Did we find any
Battlefold.
equipment?
I imagine Willow would have chunked those pieces of gold ore. Those are fist-sized chunks of ore, and I believe that's probably the first thing that hit the bag of holding.
I can't remember. Did I cast Detect Magic last one?
I casted it for you.
Oh, okay.
And we found a magical item.
Ooh.
Yes.
We didn't take time to identify. So you did not cast Identify, but you did detect magic. You cast Detect Magic and found this set of goggles, which you then tossed to Willow to be the second thing into the bag of holding for later.
So how would I label those, the goggles?
Oh, we'll just keep track of it with our minds. You don't worry about that. We'll cast Identify on it. I'm sure at some point we'll know what they are. You can just add in your character sheet under Equipment, Other, you can say a magical pair of goggles.
Alright. That's what I'm updating now.
Alright. Myrin, do you want to lead the way?
Myrin would start walking towards the door to the north. The familiar path.
That'd be the one you came in.
Yes,
Yeah.
turning left as we exit the door, and I do not know. Did I detect anything further? I want to say that there was a check or something, or if not, I can have a check now. Maybe perception or investigation of sorts. Just looking down the corridor to see if anything's stands out.
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception.
Not great. 6 total.
Nothing seems to stand out at you. It looks like corridors like a bunch you've seen in here before, with the pilasters of wood beams supporting the tunnels, and it just kind of trails off around the corner. I guess from where you're looking at it, it goes to a T, north and south T.
All of these passages look the same to me.
I say we go north. That's my vote.
Well, you are the leader.
If you know the way, then let's go, Don John.
Don John bursts ahead of you and strides down the corridor to the north. Coming to a door, he opens it. It's not locked. He steps inside and comes right back out again. He says it looks to be some kind of storage, but there's just empty wheelbarrows and a few shovels in there.
Thardin kind of pushes his way forward a little bit and pokes his head into that room to double check it.
You see 2 wheelbarrows and an empty bin and 2 shovels leaning against the wall.
I want to check this room just in case. And I'm going to roll an investigation check, looking, flipping the bed over.
There's no bed. There's an empty bin. It's like a storage room with nothing stored in it. It's like a storage room that's been plundered. There's nothing in there for you to find.
All right. Come back out. Yeah, you're right, Don John. Nothing in there.
Let's check this next one. Do you want to check this next one to the west?
Sure. Let's do it.
The party starts down the pathway, the corridor, and it turns north, jogs a little bit. There's a kind of a smaller antechamber here, with just some mishmash nothings, some teeth on the floor, and Don John goes to that door and tries it. It is barred from the outside, so that you couldn't open it from within. He looks at you guys. What do you make of this?
The door is barred from within?
As if they're trying to keep something in there. Yeah, the bars of this doorway are on this side of the door, so that it cannot be opened from the inside.
Well, that's different. Let me tell you, something must be in there. They don't want coming out.
I move forward and listen for anything.
You hear nothing beyond the door.
There's no way to pick it or anything?
You look at it, and it looks as if you could remove the bar and open the door from the outside, and then enter the room.
Can I want to use my primeval awareness to sense if there's if it's anything undead, elemental. I doubt it would be celestial or aberration, but
You don't sense any of those things nearby.
or nearby in general. 1 mile.
Right, exactly. Within 1 mile, you don't sense anything.
Or dragons, by chance, while I'm using it. While I'm here.
No dragons within 1 mile of you.
I'll take this moment to Thardin divine sense to detect good or evil behind this door.
You do not detect any of the things that are included in that divine sense.
Okay.
At this point, I feel like Myrin and Thardin may make eye contact.
Nars, you
Yes,
pulled
sir?
the bar, and I get my sword ready.
Hey guys,
Yes.
before we go in, I can cast Pass Without Trace.
I think we're about to make a lot of noise.
Might save that for later.
Okay.
We may need it.
That's true. Maybe for a quick escape. Yes, I say you just smash this door in. Or this bar, at least.
You wouldn't have to smash anything. You can
But
just
We
remove
can
the
open
bar.
it.
I think you can just pull it, right?
Oh, it's just a bar that's on this side.
Correct.
So it's not far
Yeah.
from the inside. It's far
Correct.
from the outside.
Correct.
Mirren would draw his bow at this point and as the
I'm
magical arrow.
I'm right
appears.
up in the front of the door with the shield and sword ready. No, I actually had my warhammer out.
I'll stand behind Thardin and cast Shillelagh on my staff.
Nice.
Is the tech magic still up? Do I sense anything?
You do not sense any magic beyond the doorway.
Okay. I count out loud in Goblin, or in Gnomish, and then I remove the bar and I step back.
The door creaks open, and the party sees sort of a semi-large oblong type of room, and it's lined with 12 cots, and on those cots there are some very weak and emaciated dwarves.
Aye! It's
They're
me
kind of
kid!
they're kind of too weak to even get up out of their cots, but they recognize you, and you just see smiles on their faces.
I'm going to walk forward immediately and then check to see if they are sick and turning, possibly.
Roll a medicine check. And in fact, would the healer like to get in on this too?
Yeah, I'm
Both of you roll medicine checks.
Well, I did detect undead, and there wasn't any, so they're at least not that far.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
I got a 17.
Oh, thank God, because I got an 8.
That
Oh wait, I actually can do a medicine check as well. It's a very low one. I have a +1.
Yeah, by all means, do it.
How does a 16 look?
Looks very well. Willow and Thardin, they run forward and they start to look over these bodies. And you can tell by your knowledge in all things healing, Willow and Thardin, you can tell because they're your kinsmen, that they're emaciated and have not had any nourishment, any proper nourishment, or for a long time. They're what we would think of as dehydrated, and they're close to death's door, but they are alive.
Well, I've got some rations I can share with them.
yeah, Mirren.
How many of them are there?
Let me check.
How many dwarves are there? Let me rephrase that.
There are 10 dwarves. Yes. I think I said a number before, but I believe I'm going to go with 10.
Okay.
Don John's rushed in behind you, and he's like, these are my men! And he goes and he starts trying to talk to them. Of course, they're unresponsive because they're so weak.
I grab my water skin off of my belt and I hand it to the closest one.
All right, I've got
to pass around.
I've got 10 rations, but I'd be concerned about having some left over for us. Does anyone else have anything on them? Because like, I can share with you guys later and just give them.
Yeah,
these.
I mean, we can always go hunt in the woods or something later and get some.
I don't think you understand. These dwarves have been barred up in here for days.
Yeah.
Maybe longer.
Oh, we'll definitely share food with them.
They're too weak to eat.
Oh,
They probably need to be healed magically.
Okay, I got this.
okay.
I mean, I imagine even the water skin that I gave them, they may just be like sipping on futilely.
Right.
All
like,
right.
they can barely make a move. They're barely strong enough to lift it to their lips.
I am going to cast Healing Spirit. It's a 2nd level. And a pretty little kind of translucent wolf appears, and it'll go to each of the dwarves and heal them.
Nice.
Do you need me to roll anything for that?
What does the spell say? Does it roll? Does it require a roll? Does it require anything? Read the spell.
Double check. Until the spell ends, whenever you or a creature you can see moves into the spirit space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 hit points to that creature.
Okay. Alright, so they'll each get a few hit points restored from a 1d6. It doesn't really matter for you to roll that because that's enough to get them on their feet.
Okay.
And then they very heartily start to drink from the water skin and start sharing the rations. Don John is asking them not to eat too much because you haven't had anything and you're malnourished, and if you eat too much now you can get sick, so just you have a little bit of this, and he's helping them. And he looks at you guys very, very thankfully for your charity and your skills in saving his men.
I take out half of my rations and I give them to. I tell Don John they should split it, to split it up and give it to them accordingly.
And I've got some for them also. Yeah, I think between Thardin and I, we can probably get him fed.
Yeah.
Nars and Myrin, what are you doing?
I am just eyeballing the room.
It just looks like a barracks where miners would stay the night after their day's work.
I walk up to Don John and I kind of pull his shoulder back away from the dwarf sitting on the cots.
He's ignoring you. He will not be moved. He will not be budged. He is tending to his men.
Oh, to discuss with him about the men.
Oh, you're just getting his attention?
Yeah. I just kind of want to pull him away from their listening. Like, Don John, these men do not look well. Should we aid them in any further manner than we have already?
Is the healing wolf still around? How long does that thing stay?
Let me double check it.
I imagine that's kind of an in-combat spell because you can move it around, So
Yeah, so I was thinking it was just kind of going from person to person and...
probably lasts a minute or more, 10 minutes.
Yeah, you could send it person to person, but then it would dissipate, I'd imagine.
There's a concentration up to a minute.
Okay. So it was just here for a minute, and then it whisked away into the ether. But not before it visited each man, and each man is now conscious and well enough to probably get up and move. So... what will you say of Myrin?
If we need to do anything for these men past
No,
what
I
we
think
have done.
I think y'all have gone above and beyond with the men, helping me with them. Thank you very much for the healing, Miss Willow.
Well, maybe we could get the other dwarves that we saved. the other 5 or 6 and have them come in here and help with these men.
Maybe we should make sure they're all clear the rest of this mine first.
Aye.
Maybe we should have them shelter here. I'll stay with them, and you guys go check it out.
Do you think any of them have lycanthropy?
I'll have to take that chance.
Do you have anything silver on you?
I got my silver dagger. It's Jolene.
Are you okay with that? Are you safe with that?
Oh, don't worry about me. If I could have you go and clear out the rest of the mine of any threats. We know there's a creepy crawly. I ain't talking about that guy in the ventilation shaft. I'm talking about more immediate danger. If you guys will go and clear out the rest of the mine, I'll tend to these men.
We'll make sure it's safe for you here.
Here, I'll give you my map.
We wouldn't want to leave you with any of these straggling lycanthropy roaming around.
He hands you the rolled up map. He gives it to Myrin, and the party takes their leave. They step out of the room, leaving him behind, and what will they do next?
Yes, Myrin would pull out the map and point down the corridor. I imagine that we need to check all rooms to give the all clear to Donjon.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a third northern room?
There's one more around the corner here, as we round to the right.
The party rounds the corner. There's no doorway or anything. It's just an open cavern here, and it looks like it's just for a storeroom of sorts. There's crates of dry foodstuffs and 9 casks of drinking water stacked in the middle there, but you don't see anything threatening.
There's a few more caverns to the south of here. It also seems we will pass by the entrance if we head that way.
Well, I trust your instincts, Myrin. Let's go the direction you choose.
Between the map and the instinct, I think we can get there.
Myrin leads the party south, where you come to this T, where one direction would lead you back off into the Were-Rat lair, and there's a doorway to the party's right. As Myrin opens the door, you see a shaft of light roll in, and it seems to be just an empty guard post is what it makes Thardin think of. Looks like there was once a guard posted here, but they have fled.
This looked like a tactical advantage point, and it looks like the guards who are here abandoned their post. You never abandon your post. If they were in my army, I'd send them to the brig.
There is another doorway that leads south, but the party has stepped out into this, entrance cavern, if you will, where it looks as guards were posted. So you see that's the western entrance we first saw when we came upon the place. There's one more doorway to your south, which if you open, you will discover nothing is in there other than some building materials for the supports around the mine tunnels.
All the way down this.
That's all that in there is, like, spare things to build the tunnels with. That's like a staging area it's a boneyard for their building materials when they tunnel the mine shafts.
By the way, DM, Thardin's observing the mine, and does it actually look safe in some spots, or does it look like it could be collapsible, or?
It looks safe. It looks like everything is done in a very professional manner, as if these miners were working here and doing everything by the book until the were-rats decided to infiltrate and use it as a lair.
Ah, see, friends? That's dwarven workmanship.
The rock is hewn so smooth. The rock is just like, it's a perfect passageway around you. This sort of mineral that the cave is really made out of, it occurs in a very dense fashion, so they're able to just hewn it out. And it looks like nice polished marble.
Have you ever seen anything more magnificent than dwarven workmanship?
Your people are resourceful.
Very nice.
With nice polished marble countertops with gold ore running all through. Veins of sparkly gold.
You like me kin? They do good work, huh?
They are quite talented. I've taken much inspiration from them.
Ah, very good.
As I recall, is there one more room? Nars, when we were down there, I believe in the were-rat lair, if you would call it, there seemed to be one more door we did not explore.
Was it a door heading westward?
This is correct. There were 2 doors heading westward. One you came through and one to the south of that. I'm sorry, that's east. That's east. There was a tunnel heading west.
Is there a tunnel that heads back that way?
Yeah.
Okay, so I assume it's the connecting door.
Yeah.
Pulled out the map and to show.
Okay. Yes, we probably should go around and see what's over there. And then I do need to stop off at that were-rat area.
The party would follow the corridor south from the staging area. They'd come to a door which they would open and discover that it was all empty casks of ale. And then they would keep snaking back eastward through that tunnel as it goes. It brings you back into the room, the larger cavern where the were-rats were using to lair.
So we are back in the were room.
Yes.
Perfect. Nars pulls out 2 empty vials and begins to pull blood from the were-rats. Actually, from the were individuals.
They are laying dead on the floor in their human form.
Oh, well then, the were-rats it is, even if they are burnt.
So, how do you get their blood out?
I will stick my knife very deeply into the chest and try to pull from the innards and get blood. Obviously.
Roll medicine for that.
Oh, yeah. I'd be wearing my gloves, by the way.
I'm gonna stand back. I don't want that on me. It might be contagious.
Delicious. As I consume the innards.
Oh god.
What do you plan to do with all that, Nars?
Oh, I have a few ideas. Could be useful if one of you gets some sort of contagion. I rolled a 22, DM.
You are able to find as much blood as you need.
Alright, I fill a good hefty chunk, and then I pull off 2 of the eyeballs.
Just like an alchemist would.
And I dust off my hands, stand up, and look very satisfied with myself. So, seems we've cleared out this whole entire cave.
All but this, on the map here, it shows a couple of passageways that we did not traverse, and I would like to at least go by them. And we, on the way, we head back from the western entrance that we came through. We might be able to notify the other dwarves that Donjon and their the other miners were okay.
Myrin, could you hold up the map again?
We went from that western alcove
Yeah.
down, and then that's where we saw the alcohol, and then we doubled back to that small tunnel into the main chamber.
And
Right.
then
Yeah.
to the east there's or to the west there's that door there.
And that's the door. That's the door we haven't gone through, right?
That's right.
Well, I guess we go check it out.
And then I think he also wanted us to kill that slimy creature.
Yeah.
We could make our way up through those the staircase.
Aye. Alright, we'll go to the western room first.
So the party traverses their way through the door into that room where you had not been before, and you find some various picks and shovels and wheelbarrows stored in there, and it looks like they haven't been touched in a really long time. And you continue on to the east, where the tunnel begins to veer towards the north, and then you see a corridor that you recognize veering off more to the east. That would have been the first room you came to after you left the Miner's Retreat. The party continues down the northern corridor, where, leaning against the back of the wall, it comes to a dead end. There's a dead human skeleton with a helmet and a pickaxe.
Oh.
Is that
How long
the
has that
cord
been there?
It looks like it's
that creature is in? Up ahead?
no, it's right. It's south of there.
South.
It's on the map. It's the dead end.
Okay.
You see it there?
All right. Yep.
Yeah, the tunnel just kind of, it turns back and faces west, and it just comes to an abrupt halt, and you just kind of find a skeleton leaning nonchalant against the place where they stopped digging. And if you
Can we investigate that?
roll for investigation.
I'd like to roll one too.
Yeah, you do that too.
Ugh. I hate negative modifiers. 11.
You said it was investigation?
Yes, please.
16.
You can tell that this individual has been stabbed to death by the abrasion on his bones. It looks like a short blade has been stuck into him multiple times.
Oh. I'll relay that to the party. So, what do you guys think?
Looks like an unfortunate end by the way, rats.
If it's a skeleton, it must have been here for some time.
What I'm wondering is, why was it killed?
A
Like,
skeleton.
could it have been a were rat or something, and then was human at the time that it got killed?
Maybe. How long ago did the miners say they were forced out of their encampment?
It's been a couple months.
Does this look like a skeleton, or is it more like half-dead body?
It's been dead a while, at least a couple months.
Oh.
So maybe when the were-rats first appeared, maybe it was the first victim?
Or it was eaten?
Maybe, but it
Yeah.
was... That's
It was
a very good
stabbed.
point. It was stabbed, but if we've got bones, why are there bones?
Right.
Maybe we should head back and see if one of the others knows about this.
I guess this would probably fall in the investigation role if the bones look like they were chewed on.
I don't think it could decompose that fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That would take quite a while.
And if we have a murder investigation on our hands here.
Can I check for bite marks on the bones?
Yeah,
Do you want me to roll investigation?
please.
Uh, 13.
As you're looking at it, you can tell that it was killed in a scuffle with a bladed weapon. You don't see any bite marks, but you do see evidence of a gruesome slashing death. Like they just shanked this guy a bunch of times and left him leaning up against the wall.
I think we need to go ask somebody about this.
You can tell by the evidence in this room that there has been some violence done. You can tell by the evidence in the cave and by what the miners had told you that there's been some violence done to some mining personnel by a were-rat gang that calls themselves the Whiskered Gang. All of whom you have slain except the ones that darted off into the forest.
Well, we can go and ask them where we can handle the problem in the cave. So, which one first?
I'd say we go forward and kill the creature, and then we can talk to them more.
I agree. Let's take care of the threat first.
All right. DM, I think
Yes.
you said that hallway with the creature in it was dark.
It's pretty dark.
When I flew up there.
It was pretty dark.
Is there a lantern still in that cave?
There's lanterns all throughout the cave.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm saying is was there unlit lanterns? Is that why that little spot was dark?
That spot is not actually part of the mine, it's part of the ventilation. So it's there sort of as a service passageway, if you can view it that way. It's to let air in and kind of...
Okay, so they just didn't put any lights up. All right.
Yeah, they just didn't put any lights there because they don't work in that part of it.
All right. I pull out my pocket watch and dancing lights.
The dancing lights appear all around Nars. There are like 4 orbs that are sort of orbiting him.
Ooh.
And with that, Don John shows up from around the northern passageway from where you guys are. He's like, "You guys gonna come on and help me kill this thing or what?"
Oh, you found something.
The carrion crawler. Yes, he stayed with them until he was satisfied that they were gonna be okay. Did you find any other threats? Where did you guys go? You take the southern passageways?
It seems we've cleared every other room.
I think the only threat left in the cave now is the carrion crawler.
Which is through
well-
that door.
Up these stairs, yeah.
Oh,
We also found this skeleton over here, and I point to it.
Don John looks. He did all right.
And he was murdered.
He is not the only one.
Do you have any idea what might have gone on here?
He kind of peers at the body. Says, "It looks like a stabbing. It looks like one of them filthy were-rats stabbed one of my men."
Would he have decomposed that fast, though? Why is he a skeleton?
Because that's what the book says, sweetie.
That's fair.
Well,
Consult the book.
I'm Don John. I'm just a little worried. I hope none of those dwarves have contracted that lycanthropy.
They are right. I looked at all of them, and I looked at them up from down, from head to toe. I couldn't find any bite marks on them. I don't think they had that this gang wanted to spread the lycanthropy to more individuals. I think they were just more worried about having Leia and a place to be.
So you think they were just trying to clear it out?
Well, once we kill...
Lycanthropes like them, they very picky about who they give that curse to. You gotta be good enough and aligned with them properly enough to be in their club.
Are you gonna want out once we kill this creature? You're gonna want us to track the one that escaped?
Master Thardin, you've done enough already. I don't give a damn about anyone that might have escaped. If they come back, I'll kill them myself.
Aye.
You help me eliminate the carry-on crawler in the North Passage. We good. We more than good. You have my undying thanks for all the ways that you have helped us here today. And with that, he turns around and strides back up the stairway towards the door that leads to the ventilation shaft.
It's the spirit wolf! He's back!
You know how those spirits wander.
Yeah. They're such good boys.
Does the party follow Don John?
Yeah, Myrin's right there. He was standing next to the door the whole time.
I actually pulled the party together for a moment, and I tell them, Paladin will watch over you this combat. He'll keep you all healthy. And with that, a light red glow comes from off of Thardin and embraces his friends, and they all feel much more healthy, and they all gain the benefits of an aid spell.
Ooh.
The party, except for myself, my 3 allies gain
4 allies. 4 allies. 5 temp HP for Don John too?
no. It only gives 3 targets I choose.
I see how it is.
All right.
Each target's hit points maximum, and their hit points increase by 5 for 8 hours.
Oh, cool.
Do you know how to do that on D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
There's a little temp HP window at the top near your health. You can just add 5 to that.
Oh, sweet.
And D&D Beyond, we just gave you a plug.
That one was for free. As Don John opens up the door, you see that gnarly looking, gross, yellow and black caterpillar hanging right there in front of the doorway. And its eyes open. Everybody roll initiative.
Dang!
The worst
20
one
on the
yet.
initiative. I know. Yeah, it would normally be that.
19.
I rolled a 12.
I rolled an 8.
Nice.
I think that's my worst initiative all game.
So I have a 24.
All right.
And I mean, I think that as Don John was opening the door, I was pulling out my bow, and again, as I've described before, the arrow materializing as I draw back the string of the bow.
So you had a 24 on initiative. What did everybody else have? I'm sorry.
I had a 19.
What else?
Thardin had a 12.
And an 8. Nars had 8.
No, I said 8. Yeah.
All right. Myrin, the party is standing in a little, about a 10 by 10 foot square with Donjon about 10 feet in front of them at an open door. He's just opened this door and you see this creature hanging against the ceiling. How do you react?
I will release 2 of my my energy arrows at this creature as square as I can make the shot.
You were standing there with the bow aimed already. You raise it a bit and let 2 fly. Roll those attacks.
Goodness. Okay. So there is a how would that be? So 23 with my bonus on 1. And then the second one is a 17.
Both of them hit. Both of them hit.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Okay, not bad. First one is a 10. Second one is a 9.
So 2 shots, one after the other. 1 for 10, 1 for 9. And you watch as the purple light streaks from your bow and another one streaks from your bow, and both of them sort of explode right between its eyes. And you see it shivers as the energy courses through it. And would you like to do anything else with your turn?
How did I absorb what I saw? Did it seem like it did a lot of damage, or did it seem unfazed by my attacks?
You saw tremors of the shot echo throughout its body. And you'll have to interpret that as you will.
That will be all I do. I think that, and again, my position probably seems as good as any in the hallway as I sit.
Everybody, there's not much room in this hallway. You've got this square of 10 by 10 square, and then you've got this about another 15-foot passageway ahead where the open door is. Donjon, I guess, he's kind of ducked a little bit as he saw that streak overhead. Yeah, you can see that little jog where you got about a 10 by 10 foot square to be congregated in. Willow, you're next.
Okay, is Thardin within reach? Like, can I put my hand on his shoulder or something?
The party as a foursome are all in this 10 by 10 foot square.
Alright, I would like to cast Resistance on him. You touch one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one saving throw of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the saving throw. The spell ends. And I'll cast Shillelagh on my staff and eat a mushroom.
All right.
That'll be my turn.
All right.
I've got a table that I need to roll for the mushroom.
Yes. Mushroom table. You can never have enough.
Where is my iPad? For Christ's sakes, I just had it here.
I eated it with the mushroom. I'm sorry.
I saved a photograph of this mushroom table because I knew that Willow probably would eat a mushroom.
Probably.
just for fun.
As a natural 20.
Oh, is that good or bad?
Oh shit, I'm supposed to roll a d10.
Got a natural 20 on a D10 roll.
I got a natural 20 on a D10 roll. That's how my life is going lately.
That's pretty good.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
Depending
for
on the
Willow's
table.
sake.
Yeah.
10. That's the equivalent of a d20.
Nice.
I like this. I like this new set of dice. It's very. I love the way it rolls. Let's see. Magical mists pour out of the creatures. Pour out of Willow's eyes and ears, acting as a fog cloud spell for 1 hour that is centered on the creature and moves with it. Willow, you have a purple cloud emitting from your eyes and ears, and it sort of just envelops the party like this sexy mist.
Nice.
I'm into it.
So, I guess we're kind of undercover. Do we have a little bit more to stealth or something?
The creature cannot see anything except a cloud of mist.
Rad.
And Don John standing right there next to it.
Don John, come back.
Thardin, it's your turn.
Okay, I charge at the creature and make my attack. First attack.
What are you attacking with?
Oh, my warhammer. I still have it out.
Warhammer. You still got the silvered warhammer out.
Yep.
Yeah. And shield, or are you wielding that two-handed?
I'm wielding it with the shield.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that attack.
All right. So, a 26.
26 will hit it. Roll for the second attack.
Okay. And a 24.
That will also hit it. Go ahead and roll damage on both of those.
Okay. So it takes 16 points of damage combined on the attacks.
So your paladin friend, he rushes forward out of this purple mist that's surrounding Willow, and the carrion crawler and Donjon see him emerge out of this poof cloud with his hammer behind his head, and he brings it down not once but twice on the creature's head, as close to the point that Myrin shot it as he could. For 2 big wallops of a hit, and this creature starts to bleed out of its eyes. Would you like to do anything else on your turn?
No, that's it.
It is now the creature's turn, and it is going to attack Thardin with his tentacles and Donjon with his bite. It nope. It's not close enough to Donjon to get him with his bite. It's gonna bite Thardin and kind of reach out a tentacle to melee range, from its vantage point on the ceiling at Donjon. So the Donjon hit is 20, and the Thardin hit is 19. Does that hit you, Thardin?
No, it doesn't.
Donjon's been hit with the tentacle. Donjon will take 4 points of damage from that tentacle. Ah! As this slimy, suckered, suction-cupped thing slaps him across the face, and you can see little round, red You can see these little round marks of tentacle on his skin where it slapped him a good one. Ah! And with that, it is Don John's turn, and he is going to pull out his dagger and shank the thing 3 times for that little incident. And all 3 of them will hit for 8 points of damage on the thing. So he 3 times right into its skull. And this thing is just starting to really like bleed now. Nars, you're up.
I'm gonna keep it simple. Just a firebolt.
Go ahead and roll for it.
Okay. Uh, 10.
The firebolt streaks out of the human's hand and just goes wide to the left and misses the creature. What else would you like to do on your turn? We're just going to go ahead and go back to Myrin, top of the round.
Myrin would, seeing the effectiveness of his last 2, would execute the same 2 shots. This time probably over a couple of people, but I feel confident in the shot.
I feel confident as well.
Thardin,
I mean, I feel
Thardin,
real
I know
confident.
you're up there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So,
aim true, lad.
okay, so this isn't great.
Don't hit me again.
This isn't great, but it should work out with the bonuses. This bonus.
As long as it's not a natural one and you don't hit Thardin.
I know it. So, it's a 17 and 18 with bonuses.
Roll the damage.
Alright. That's a 7 and a 9.
So a 16 total damage is enough to kill the thing. Tell us how you do it.
As Myrin releases these 2 purple arrows past Thardin, his eyes are actually trained on Thardin's the back of his head. It's not even like he's just making sure that he's not, and that the focus is right on this crawler. And as those arrows pass by Thardin, again, reminiscent from the last purple glow that passed by your head, you see another exact the same distance, and they both strike in the same spot that they struck the last time, killing him.
Nice.
Yay! Good job.
And the crawler goes down. It loses its grip on the ceiling and it just sort of falls straight down from the ceiling into the floor, and it goes squish.
Ugh.
And sort of like some bile gets on Thardin's armor and sprays Don John across the face, adding insult to injury. And with that, we'll take a break. The party faces a dead carrion crawler laying belly up in the middle of this shaft. As it leads out beyond, you can see a little peak of light coming through the corridor from where it turns. Actually, no, you can't. You can't, because the sun would be set by now. But you can feel the draft coming in, and you can sort of a little bit with maybe your elven senses hear the crickets.
So, was there anything on this creature that Nars could potentially take?
Some ooze.
Yeah.
I don't see why he would want to.
Okay.
Seems like he wants to take just about any fluid.
Yes,
There's
I would take any fluid.
There isn't. I have some fluid for you.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
The only fluids you find on this thing is like slimy, suctiony stuff. Other than its blood, which is
I'll take
green
it.
in color. Nars takes out some of his vials and collects samples from the beast.
Was there anything, debris or any useful items in this room that maybe after the creature has killed, any bodies or anything in this room?
You don't. It's not really a room. It's more like a shaft.
Shaft, yeah, the shaft.
And it's just what it is. It's a shaft with a dead carrion crawler in it.
Okay.
Don John turns to the party and says, I thank you very much for what you've done here today. Thank you for helping me clear out the evil from this mine and the unaligned from this mine for all that. It's going to take me quite a while to get things right again, but I think you wouldn't mind taking this letter and mailing it back to Neverwinter. I'm going to need some things to get this place running. We're going to need some new supplies. I think we have enough here to get by until they're able to send another shipment, but I need to tell the consortium what has transpired here.
We can do that for you, Don John.
He hands you a letter.
How is Don John feeling health-wise?
Oh, it's just a scratch. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just need a little rest, so it'll take care of me. That thing hit me a couple of times, but I'll be alright.
Sure
Well,
you're
wait,
okay?
lad, we can help you.
Oh, you can?
Willow can help you.
Yeah, be happy to. Are you sure?
Well, let's see what you can do.
Alright.
Do you need me to, lay down on a table, or...?
No, you're okay. Just stand right there.
He stands there.
Alrighty, I will cast Balm of the Summer Court. And, roll, a d6 for the guy. Oh! 5 HP.
And just like that, you start to see the whelps on his forehead swelling go down and disappear, and he looks healthy again. Thank you. I feel so much. How did you do that?
I'm magic!
You guys can barely see anything other than yourselves there because there's a fog, this purple fog has started to fill the entire mine, so nobody can really see more than about 5 feet in front of them.
Sorry, guys.
Is this?
I think your spell backfired.
Yeah, I think it was that mushroom I ate.
Aye, one of those mushrooms.
Yeah.
She realizes that they hadn't been prepared in the same manner as they were when she first had them and had the experience with the group of Druid. the circle of Druid, rather, that she was with. And it dawns on her that eating a mushroom might have a different effect than she's experienced with the same mushroom.
This spell, I've heard of it before. I think it's called indigestion.
Leave.
Don John, he says, "We're gonna have to do something about this fog. Maybe you could step outside and let the caverns air out a bit."
Yeah, I can do that. Sorry, everybody.
And the party walks through the tunnels and passageways back to the rooms where the miners had been held up. There's more of them there now as they've started to come back from the other barracks on the northwestern side. They're all sort of reuniting. They haven't seen each other in at least a 10-day, as they had been barricaded into those barracks to die, basically. And they're all very grateful, and they turn and give you a hero's hurrah when you enter the room. They're all very pleased and indebted to you, they say.
It's the least we can do for me kinsman. Any of you been over to the, any of you heard of, Axeholm? You have any, information on that place?
Aye, lad. Axeholm is a very, very old fortress that our kinfolks built.
Any ever been there before?
Nay, but I've heard the story. We've heard the tale. Used to be a base. A northern base for the dwarves out of Cryptogarden Forest.
Ah,
It was abandoned and sealed up long years ago, being haunted by a banshee.
a banshee?
Aye, lad. The way the story goes is the restless spirit of a moon elf ambassador named Vildara tried and failed to foment civil unrest amongst our kin.
Ah,
They captured her, but she escaped, and they killed her before she was able to run off, and it's said that she's now haunts that place.
aye. And that's
No.
where we're heading next.
No, what was she again?
A banshee.
Well, she was an elf when she was alive.
Did you say a dark elf or just an elf?
No, not a dark elf. Not a dark elf. A moon elf ambassador is what I said.
So, DM, would Willow know anything about this? Would she have heard of this before from her parents?
She wouldn't have.
Okay.
Didn't have anything to do with the Drow species as a whole. Although River and Fern did inhabit Cryptogarden Forest, this was long before their time there. We're talking about at least a century before. Thardin would have been just a young boy when that happened.
Myrin, what do you know about these banshees? You know anything?
I may.
Nars?
I have.
How about you, lad? You know
I do have-
anything about him?
I know one story of a banshee. Long ago, when I was a child, there was a party that came into town, and they met with the banshee. I know they provided her with a gift, and she answered a question for them. So I'm not sure if all banshees are necessarily violent creatures.
I know that banshees, they They are deceased elves. That's where their spirits come from.
So, I mean, it depends on her deceased attitude, I suppose.
Well, I'll tell you. Me ex-girlfriend in Neverwinter. She was a banshee. She broke me heart. That's the closest I've come to a banshee.
I'm sorry,
bet
Thardin.
Willow, can I see those goggles?
Yeah. I'll hand him the goggles.
Alright. I sit down and I begin to identify.
The human sits cross-legged in the floor and pulls out his spectacles and his black pearl, and he waves the pearl around over the spectacles. Can you throw up that graphic of the spectacles? The meaning of the spectacles in the Artificer's goggles becomes clear that they are goggles of night, which will allow somebody without dark vision to have 60 feet of dark vision when wearing the goggles.
Ooh, you should keep this one, Nars.
I smirked to myself. I just placed them on my head. Like a real alchemist, or a real artificer.
You all turn to look at your party member with his new set of goggles strapped to his head. They seem to complement his leather outfit quite well.
Nice.
Well,
What'll they do for you, lad?
They'll provide me with the same dark vision all of you have.
Aye, you'll be able to see.
Oh, cool.
Yes, finally. I won't
In the
give away my
dark.
location every 2 seconds.
We won't need... Hey! We won't need torches.
Oh, that's true.
It's a shame. I really like my dancing light spell.
But however,
Alright.
they seem to fit you quite nicely.
Appreciate it. Alright, so I put my spectacles away and I keep my goggles just on my forehead. Kind of pulling my hair back. I was gonna say, it seems Axeholm is our next destination then.
That is up to the party's decision. I've heard different things come out of the party's mouth about what destination is next.
Thardin, Myrin, and Willow, we aren't very injured, and we don't really have much to carry on us. So I feel like we could go directly to Axeholm.
We could. I don't see why we would need to stop in town for anything.
Yeah, the time we've taken a little break here, we've already probably established maybe a short rest. So, or close to it.
And I don't mind spending a few more nights in the woods. It's been too long.
Oh, there won't be any woods.
Or in nature, nonetheless.
Out of doors.
These
Yeah, I'm
beds
okay with that.
are getting old.
Don John turns to the party and says, Myrin, Thardin, Willow, Nars, I really appreciate the help that you've done. I would like to invite y'all to spend the night, have dinner with us and spend the night for a long rest. It's getting dark. It's dark outside now. Unless you want to travel through the night to Axeholm, you could make it before the sun rose.
Maybe the long rest wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'm definitely down with the long rest.
They have enough supplies. They feel confident that they can feed the party a sort of a feast, and a thank you for saving their ass, pulling Don John's bacon out of the fire. You guys were originally hired just to get him here to the mine, so he feels like you've all gone above and beyond, and he's given you 10. About 100 gold piece worth of ore that Willow currently carries in her bag of holding, and he's agreed to allow you to keep any of the glasses the goggles that you found, and as payment. None of them need those really, and what will the party do?
I vote for a long rest. I think that's fine. And
Yeah.
I'd like to partake in their feast and talk with some more of my kinsmen.
Yeah, I want to do that too. Definitely.
They don't
down with the
feel
long
much
rest.
like talking to you. They've all had a very harrowing experience, and they just kind of want to be low key. So we'll say, go ahead and give your character sheets a long rest, and we'll set out on the road to Axeholm in the morning.
All right.
Myrin might go up the ventilation shaft up in that outlook, that outcropping, and that might be where he does his trance for the evening.
Yeah, you guys don't feel the need to keep watch. The dwarves are sort of doing that. You feel like, and if anything, they'll alert you to anything that goes awry in the night. And the party takes a long rest, so you can take a moment to change any spells that you might be able to on a long rest if you want to. But if we're good to go, we'll just start out in the morning and the sun will rise. And there will be some traveling music. As the party prepares to leave the Mountain Toes gold mine to head down south, what is everybody doing?
I'm picking flowers.
You see a cloaked, Grim Reaper-esque figure in the meadow right outside the western entrance of the mine, picking up flowers with her black cloak completely obscuring every inch of her. You see like this figure of death picking flowers from the ground, wildflowers from the mountains.
Giggling.
I would be making my morning potion, so infusing that with magic. And then I also want to make a counteract potion to Willow's mushroom addiction. So I have mushrooms from her. Knowing the alchemical nature of these mushrooms, maybe I can make something that would end the effects of one of them.
You don't completely understand the nature of the magic in these mushrooms, because you're not a druid, but you try your best.
You want me to roll something?
Why the hell not?
Hell yeah.
Golden dice.
Alright, so where do I roll my proficiency? I'll tell you what the roll is when I find out where the hell it is.
Myrin is probably... He's probably working on his leather. He's cleaning it up, and found that the overlook was a really nice sunrise, possibly.
You do have a good view from that entrance there. Sun's coming up over the mountain.
Proficiency modifier is 4 or 2. What is it?
Proficiency modifier for...
Well, either way, I rolled a natural 20, and I'm willing to take a screenshot. So.
If you're rolling for that potion?
Yes.
So what exactly does that potion do in your mind?
So in my mind, I wanted to... So if she eats a mushroom, and it's like causing a fog or something, I can give her the potion and it would end the effects.
A potion to end the effects. All right. What did you make it out of?
Am I still smoking, by the way?
No, that lasted an hour. That I forgot to tie that loose end up. That magic lasted 1 hour. So you just kind of went outside and picked flowers while you were smoking. Like just this fog, like when the wind wasn't blowing, it would just billow around you and make this dense purple ball around you. And then when the wind would gust and pick up, it would look really cool as it misted away from you. And now your companion has brewed you a potion, sort of like if you're tripping too hard, you can come down from the mushroom magic, is how I would explain it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sort of like a shot of Thorazine for a bad LSD trip.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
It tastes like slug, so.
What color is it? Slug color?
Slug
It's
color?
pea, a malnourished person.
The party bids their farewell to Don John. He and some of the dwarves come out to see you off. Thank you for everything. Here is another letter I have written for you personally for Harbin Wister. It's got my seal on it, and that should be good for the purse when you return to Phandalin.
Awesome, thank you.
Who takes that from him?
I guess I can.
Willow puts it in her bag of holding.
Alright.
That bag is coming in use.
It is. I'm
Holding
all the
ore that
things.
must be heavy, or would normally be heavy.
That brings me to a point about how much weight each of you guys are carrying, and I'm gonna say if you're carrying with exclusion to Thardin, anybody else that's carrying more than 100 pounds need to give Willow some items to put in the bag of holding.
Yeah, I'm not in that position.
Just
think I
saying.
am.
Just a point of order. Just like I'll be looking. So the party sets off. They bid their farewells and they start walking southwest.
Thardin finishes his prayer as everybody's walking ahead of him. He finished his prayer to Paladin, asking for some new spells, and he ran to catch up.
Everybody's feeling quite experienced in the ways of adventuring this morning.
Late today, Dwarf.
Well, I had to talk to Paladin. I had to pray
Your
that
god,
he gives us a healthy and blessed journey.
your god seems important to you.
And he enlightened me with some new abilities.
Must be a benefit to your prayer.
I am a faithful man to Moradin.
I could vouch for that.
You guys travel along, and let me hear what is on the dwarf's mind when it comes to seeing once a long ago home of his kinsfolk.
Well, Thardin is curious because he was a child and he heard stories of this place.
And stories of Valdara.
Yes, and he's always.
So he's heard the legend before. That what his kinsfolk said to him reminded something of he had learned long ago.
Long ago, it was forgotten. Kind of one of those things he had heard as a child and never really thought much about it. But once this kinsman talked about it, the memory reemerged, and he.
Let me tell you what he remembers. He remembers this story about Valdara, who was a rogue elf who wanted to sow unrest amongst the dwarves who were stationed at Axeholm, and she went there as an emissary, but she failed to turn them to violence. The dwarves imprisoned the elf and sent messages to her people asking that they come to collect her. Before envoys could be sent, Valdara killed 2 guards trying to escape, only to be cut down herself by dwarven axes before she could succeed. And so that is what you remember of the story. Apparently, it goes a little farther, in that the sure evil spirit still dwells there.
Yeah, and I'm very intrigued at going to visit the place to see the dwarven workmanship and culture that they've instilled on it. And maybe if while I'm there, if we need to cleanse the place with Moradin's blessings, I will do that.
Moradin will be with you as you go to Axeholm.
Aye.
So you guys are traveling, and it's quite beautiful outside. You see some trees, but not as so many as you did when you were traveling through Neverwinter Wood. They're just sparse. There's some on the mountainside, but not many. And it takes you all of the morning to travel that 15 miles, and you stop and you have a light lunch of some of the rations that you all are carrying, what you had left after you shared with the dwarves back in the mine, and you just stop for a short, brief rest before you make for Axeholm. That takes just a little bit into the afternoon. And what is on our healer's mind after she cast that spirit animal spell for the first time, or maybe the second time, and was able to heal all those men? What are you thinking about, Willow?
I feel pretty accomplished. And the wolf spirit kind of made me miss being around wildlife and animals, and at some point might think about getting an animal companion.
Ah.
As long as nobody here is allergic to dogs. Saying.
Are any of the venturing party allergic to dogs? I can't think Myrin would be. I'm not sure about Nars.
So that I am.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna go find
Maybe
a wolf.
Nars eventually.
You look for wolf signs of wildlife, but you just are having trouble seeing that any of them are making themselves present and known today. It's the heat of the day, and most of them would be active more at night, so you might find better pickings if you looked for a wolf to be active after dark.
Okay.
Anyhow, we traveled a little bit more, and we covered 15 miles in just under 7 hours, which is moving along at a pretty good clip. We've kept the mountains to our left as we've traveled and made our way down to the southwest, and you come towards one of the bigger ones that you've been seeing for quite far off. You're coming towards this big peak of the mountain that on your map shows the resting place of Axeholm, and thrust out from the base of a dark gray mountain as you get closer to it is the entrance to this dwarven fortress. So as you come close, you can see a dark 15-foot wide passageway flanked by these two huge 40-foot high bulwarks of smooth, seamless stone. An iron portcullis is covered with rust, blocks the entrance. And as you get closer, you can see there are arrow slits, which are carved into the bulwarks. And those are dark, revealing no hint of occupation. So as you stand facing this immense mountain, you see just the tip of the iceberg of where the dwarves had shaped the mountain to their will. And you see this big doorway that is blocked by the portcullis. What does the party do looking at this?
Your people constructed this, Thardin.
So there's a entryway towards where we're facing?
You can see the main entrance from where you are. It is barred by a portcullis. It's iron, it's rusty, and it's extremely heavy looking.
Is there any movement up ahead? Do we see anything?
Roll perception.
I am looking as well.
Both of you roll perception.
13.
17 with the bonus.
Neither of you can detect any movement that you can see between this portcullis from where you are. You're still a ways off. You're still walking towards it. You're approaching, but it looks to be, from the outside, it looks to be really still. But then again, all you can see is this massive cliff face with this stone work, this dwarven stone bulwark work hewn out of it. It's bricked up in some places. It's definitely dwarven stonework.
I'm impressed with the workmanship from a distance. I'm kind of... Thardin is in awe. It's very magnificent.
And the rest of the party is as well, I'd wager, and your awe just continues to grow as you walk towards this thing. I'm not sure if any of you have ever seen a dwarven stronghold in person before, but it's pretty cool.
Willow probably hasn't seen one
I would
before.
doubt that. She has seen something like this, architecture-wise, before ever in her life.
This is super cool, Thardin.
This is unbelievable. Dwarven heritage. I can't believe the workmanship on this place.
What
I
can you
can't
tell
wait
me
till we
about
get
it?
inside to see what they've done.
What can you tell me about it, Thardin? I don't know a whole lot about Dwarven architecture or anything
Well,
like
when
that.
I was a child, I heard stories about it. That it was an amazing place. It was one of the biggest strongholds in the south here, in the Forgotten Realms. But again, I don't know too much. I was a young lad back then.
Well, thank you for sharing what you did know.
Aye, lass.
So, as you approach, you come closer and closer. And you come right up on this thing after what seems like forever of approaching it. It's that massive. It plays tricks on the eyes. But as you get up to it, you can see that between the east and west bulwarks, there is an inlet of about 25 feet deeper where the portcullis doorway stands. It's a massive archway. Just breathtaking to be at the base of it. And you get there, and what do? You're now standing right next to this giant portcullis. It's 40 feet high. No, 20 feet high. Over 20 feet high.
I'm scanning some of the higher points of this structure.
You see the arrow slits.
Yep. Can I see any activity through them now that we're closer?
They all look dark.
And sounds. Do I detect any sounds?
You detect no sound.
Seems
the-
silent.
The gateway is closed then, right?
Correct.
Okay. Looking around, does it seem like there's a smaller entrance or anything?
More entrances?
Like any sort
Like
of...
a single man passageway.
Yeah. Like Helm's Deep, like when Gimli and Aragorn came out.
Go ahead and roll me perception check.
But all of us?
Well, I meant Nars since he was the one that asked.
I rolled a 14.
You don't seem to see any other ways in. You step back. You step back several feet. You step by several tens of feet. And you just don't seem to notice any other way in other than this main entrance.
It looks like we're gonna have to raise the portcullis to get in. Raise the gate.
Aren't those controls traditionally on the other side of the gate?
Well,
Aye.
if I can
Roll
see
perception, Myrin.
21.
that. Oh.
You can see the wheel on the other side of the portcullis. It looks like it would probably raise the thing. Just from its placement, it looks like that is the control to bring this thing up.
So it look exceptionally heavy.
It looks... What did you roll?
Well, I rolled a 14, but I would ask.
It looks rusted.
I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to cast Mage Hand and try to rotate it.
Wait, what does it say? You're gonna try to do it with Mage Hand?
Yes.
The human artificer tries to turn...
It can turn 10 pounds.
So the mage hand looks like it's like vibrating. It's like really stuck. It can't quite get enough torque.
Well done. Can Myrin just fit through these bars?
I look at the portcullis openings to see if. And
Myrin, there is no way that Myrin can fit through the portcullis.
Aye, but I know a raccoon that could fit through there.
Willow could.
Kind of what I was.
I look over at Willow.
Could I fit in just as I am, or would I have to be something smaller?
No, you would have to wild shape into a very small. The openings are like, foot by.
So the little raccoon could fit through?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
The raccoon is coming back, my friends.
You
There's my
see,
friend.
you see the blue-skinned drow glimmer with a mystic aura, and she shifts in and out of view and drastically reduces her mass in a swirling of magic, and there you see a raccoon sitting on the pathway.
Ta-da!
And she cannot talk in this form.
I tried.
Well, Willow, go give it a try there.
The raccoon pounces in easily through one of the holes in the portcullis near the floor and just trounces right over to the wheel, the turning wheel for the mechanism that raises it.
Can I turn it? As a raccoon?
No.
Okay. And the raccoon will wave goodbye.
You see a little five-fingered raccoon claw wave at you as it glimmers in and out of phase, and lots of mass comes back to the form in a swirling of arcane magic, and as it clears, you see the drow standing next to the wheel.
Alright, I'll go ahead and give it a turn. Do I need to do a strength check on that?
Yeah, you need to roll a strength check.
Oh, nice. Fire.
What
Alright,
did you get?
got an 18.
The drow struggles with the wheel, and you see as she her muscles tense up under her armor. You can see a look of determination, resolve on her face, and she's able to turn it one time, and the portcullis raises up 5 feet.
Thardin at that point helps to try to lift it a little higher.
It is up 5 feet.
Okay, nice.
I just kind of kneel down, or I'm actually just a hair under that, so I just kind of tilt my head down just a little bit to walk under.
Thardin does not need to kneel to walk underneath it.
Oh, I just walk right through.
I follow.
The party finds its way into a narrow, oblong-shaped room. It's about 15 by 40, and beyond the portcullis, you are now in this room. You look up and you notice there are some murder holes above you that are currently closed. There are some slits through which arrows could be fired. The ceiling above you, and you guys walk south and come to a large double door.
As we walk through, I tilt my head up and I look at these holes. Do I see any mechanisms that control them visible?
The mechanisms that control what? Sorry.
The you said they're closed. These holes above.
No, you can't see any mechanism. You can see arrow slits, though, in the sides of the walls as well.
Okay.
To the sides of us.
Yes, on either side. There's two on your right and 3 on your left.
Does it look like there's a pressure plate in front of us?
No. They would be arrow slits for manned archers on the other side. That's what you recognize. But there's no evidence that there's anybody over there.
You can see the dwarves were ready for it. They had murder holes. They were ready for combat.
I see those.
Clever.
Advantageous.
I feel like I should detect magic.
You cast detect magic?
I would like to ritual cast it, but it'll take me 10 minutes.
Okay. Is that okay with the party? You see your friend sit down cross-legged on the floor and take out his spectacles and cast a ritual. The detect magic does not ping your senses.
Shall we carry on?
I probably would also at this time I would use my primeval awareness to detect any fey, celestial, otherwise.
You get a dread sense surrounding you, surrounding your senses. You definitely have this primeval awareness that something undead is near.
I relay to the party that something undead could be near, and to be watchful.
So you're standing in this outer gauntlet type of hallway with the arrow slits and the murder holes. And this set of double doors in front of you that would presumably lead into the fortress proper.
I believe Thardin should open that door. It is your home.
Aye.
Thardin walks to the doorway and tries to push it open, and it is locked. There's no keyhole evident, and it cannot be unlocked from the outside.
So we are stuck in this room?
Maybe we need to search this room.
It's not really a room, it's more of still outside the hallway.
Entryway.
Yeah.
An entry.
I mean, there's a roof over it, but you're still exposed to the elements through the portcullis. It is sort of a gauntlet that any intruder would have to come through, faced with arrow slits on either side and murder holes above.
How high are the arrow slits from the ground?
The arrow slits up above are about 15 feet ceiling.
How wide are they? Oh, an opening.
Less than a foot. The ones on the side hallways are also about a foot, like less than a foot, maybe 6 inches, wide enough to get 3/4 cover.
But like directly to the left and right of us?
Yeah.
Can I?
There's two on your right and 3 on your left.
Can I walk to my right and peer through?
Yeah. Using your dark vision, as you approach this slit looking in, you can see that you're staring down the business end of a ballista that is unmanned.
This would be like a very large crossbow that takes multiple people to run. And you can see one on the other side of this room that you're looking in on. That's facing the opposite direction.
Any markings on the door?
It's a large, strong-looking oaken door with some dwarvish runes on it.
Is Thardin able to read them?
Yes. They say Axeholm.
It says Axeholm on it.
As it would.
Befitting. I think
We have-
Willow is our only option here.
We don't have a way to pick locks, lad. Nars, you can come up with some contraption.
There's no lock to pick.
Well, I could pick a
Oh.
lock, but I just can't get on the other side. Yeah, it's a shame to waste Willow's transformations, but I don't see any other option.
Where would I need to go?
Well, you'd go through the portcullis. Or, I'm sorry, you'd go through one of the arrow slits.
Okay.
Right, but we don't know what's up there.
Yes, that's the problem.
She'd be alone up there.
But through here,
Can Myrin sense where it is, the undead?
yeah, at least from a direction. Yeah, at least from a like a cardinal direction.
It's difficult to say. It's sort of a foreboding sense that they're all around.
It feels ever present.
We could extend the gate all the way up, and then we could search around the area for another entrance, maybe. I mean, that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Or sending the animal through the arrow slit. Either one.
But, like Thardin said, she'd be all alone.
She can move
And
quick.
that slit is 15 feet up, you said?
The ceilings have long slits in them that are 15 feet above you, and then the arrow slits on the walls on either side are there for archers to stand and shoot arrows at you if there were any.
Are
Like
they
ground level?
Are they? Are yeah?
They
Are they wide? Is there anywhere that's wide enough above, like in a higher point, for a body to fit through? It's all arrow slits.
When we push on the door, does it feel like a chain, or does it feel like a bar?
Feels like it's bolted. If you can, yeah, you're not. There's no give there. It's shut.
It's solid.
Um,
Right, I guess I'll wild shape and at least go take a peek. If it looks like something I'm not going to be able to move on my own, then I'll come back.
The wild shapes actually do come back after a short rest, which is a little tidbit I picked up. That's nice
Yes.
when I was
I
reading
would
about
say
the
you-
druids.
you should do something very, very small, so you
Yeah,
can
I
avoid
was thinking
detection.
like a mouse or something.
All right.
Something that could climb.
You guys see Willow as she says this magic swirl starting to envelop her, and much of her mass is compressed down into the shape of a little field mouse that's like, and it's so cute, and it promptly jumps through the arrow hole, and it is now in a room where it can see multiple arrow holes leading in both directions. There's actually 4. You see one beyond south to the one that you jumped through, which you would naturally jump through that one, right? So you just kind of did a U-turn like that and came back out another arrow slit where you can see that you were beyond the oaken door, the giant great main entrance, and you can see the
the handle that one must turn to unbolt the door so that it can turn on its hinge.
Does it look like something that I would be able to move by myself in my Drow form?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks in much better shape than the portcullis did.
So, is there anything around the door right now, like, creature-wise?
Myrin has got his ear up against the door, listening for any of this activity.
The next thing the party hears rather, is the sound of the bolt moving out of place on the other side of the door, and it swings open with a little creak, and you see the Drow on the other side.
Our lockpick for the day.
Doing all the things.
What does the party do?
Myrin moves in, looking to the left and the right, but maybe even the extreme left and extreme right, and maybe evaluating this next space that we walk in.
And what you see is a great hall
With about 40-foot high ceilings, which are supported by 4 thick stone pillars on each corner of the room. A thick layer of dust covers the flagstone floor. In the middle of each wall, past the entrance, to your east and west, you're moving south through the door, and to your east and your west, you see 2 more sets of double doors. And you have successfully entered Axeholm without making a sound. And I would like to applaud you all and give you a point of inspiration to use throughout the time we're in Axeholm.
Nice.
Arrow slits are set high up in the north and south walls that you can see. Looks like from where you're standing, you can also see a little stone balcony, if you have that dark vision, which most of you do now, I think.
I think we all do.
Does Nars pull that goggle down on his head, over his eyes?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, then you can see a small stone balcony protruding from the wall above the east exit, as about 20 feet high above the floor.
Any magical detection ringing?
You're still running detect magic for a few more minutes. You don't feel anything pinging.
My primeval awareness, I don't, as far as duration goes, I haven't really evaluated, if it's lasting.
Does it pinpoint their exact location in that sense? Nah. So
Not
that
necessarily.
sense would have come and gone and made you aware that there's undead in this place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's present within 1 mile. It does not reveal the location or number.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are in this big, what looks to be a mustering hall, where they would have kept all of the troops for either defense or to send them out and attack outside. It's just a big main hall. There's not really much in here, but the walls, the stonework on the walls is exquisite.
Hey, Thardin is going to use his divine sense, and that gives him a 60-foot range. I'll just read it quickly. The presence of the strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor, and powerfully good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of the next turn, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover.
Okay.
You know the type of celestial, fiend, or undead of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity.
Uh-huh.
The vampire Strahd, for instance. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell.
So, you're in a room that's larger than 60 by 60. So, within your immediate vicinity, you don't see anything. And I will keep that under note as you move around, but it does only last for a turn. So,
Right. Yep.
in a dungeon crawl, my dungeon crawls turns work a little bit differently. And turn by turn is just people taking actions. There's not really any order to it. So I'll time that out. And if you get close to anything and it pings that, I'll let you know.
Okay, I can cast 2 more of them as well.
Okay. So you guys are looking at this balcony up above towards the east, and below it you can see double doors to the east, and there's a mirror on the other side, another double door to the west, and there's also a double door to the south. It's set into the wall a little bit, and not like the others. Actually, the others are too, sorry. So you've got double doors to your north, south, east, and west. The ones to the north are the main Axeholm doors that you've just come through. And this room is empty.
The dust on the floor, other than the steps of Willow, do I see any other imprints in the dust?
No movement here. It's undisturbed for a while, a long time.
If there is a creature here, there is one that does not leave footprints.
This is very eerie. I'm sorry, you said how many entrances are off of this main?
This main mustering hall that you're in is 1, 2, 3.
Oh lordy.
It's about a 60 by 80 foot room, and there's double doors to the north, south, east, and west. The ones to the north you've just come in, and that lead to the outside. So you're looking at the other 3 cardinal directions. Double doors, each of them.
Should we clear out the rooms on the side first?
Sure. Why don't we do that so we don't leave anything behind us?
As these strongholds are usually built, they go deeper, so I imagine that our challenge would only lie deeper within, and possibly we may find some fortune in these other rooms. One would hope.
Yes. There's no dwarven bodies lying around, or any sort of bodies in general?
You don't see any humanoid remains in this room.
I started walking to the western door.
Okay. When you get to it, you come to 2 large oaken double doors. They're not as thick and ornate as the other ones looked. And there is thick, sturdy oak reinforced with iron bands, and it's fitted on iron hinges, and it has an iron handle on each one, so it sort of opens away from you.
Let me try pulling these doors open.
My hands are out of my pocket at this point. I'm like, ready to throw a firebolt at anything.
Thardin pulls on the iron handles, and the door easily opens into another room. You can all see with your dark vision that it's an oblong, sort of L-shaped room with a long hallway leading off to the north. The floor is strewn with bits of armor and the gnawed bones of dwarves who were killed and eaten by something.
This might be the first time that you had seen Myrin cringe just a bit at a sight. Nothing has really struck him too this hard, and seeing the despair that must have been set on this place, it's painful.
You hear a scratching noise off to your right as you look through this door, from the way that you saw that. So you guys are all at this wide open door inlet looking, and you hear a movement, and you all look to the right, and you can see a ghoul like shambling towards you.
I already have the arrow drawn.
Roll initiative.
16.
Again.
10 for me.
Thardin, what did you get?
An 8. Looks as though these dwarves they fought to the end. Whatever they were fighting.
To school here.
Where are we? We're at the top of the round. Willow, you see in succession not one, but 4 ghouls shambling towards the party. What do you do?
I will cast Guiding Bolt at the nearest one.
And we got 4 yellow ghouls coming this way.
4. Wow.
I had my arrow trained on the approaching.
That is also the one that Willow has guided bolt. It's about 10 feet at distance there. No, about 15 feet. So she rolled that attack. Did she roll that attack?
I did. It was a natural 20.
And it was a natural 20. So roll double damage for that one.
Does Guiding Bolt do double against undead?
She rolled a natural 20.
No, I meant like, does Guiding Bolt, because holy damage, do double against undead?
Double. It does not say that they're immune to radiant damage.
But the target, the next attack on the ghoul will have advantage.
Yes, that is correct.
Does that?
Yeah, radiant will do that. Next attack, which is the one Myrin's also trained on, and he's next.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so what happens when you hit something like that with holy damage?
Go ahead and roll the damage. 2 damage die instead of... How many damage die is that? Are you doing double damage dice, or are you doubling your roll for the 4? Is it?
I was gonna roll twice.
Okay, go ahead.
The first time was 14.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's going to get advantage on him because that radiance is enough to drop that one as it's coming at you.
Wow.
So
Nice. Good job, Willow.
what else would you like to do on your turn?
I'll cast Shillelagh on my staff. That's for my turn.
All right. Myrin, you're next.
The as these ghouls are approaching, the one that I was trained on just dropped. I imagine there was two directly behind it, or as they're approaching, I guess I'll throw them.
Yeah, they're all kind of coming at you single file.
Yep. So I'm just gonna pull my bow back and horde breaker the two that are nearest in profile to me.
Okay. Roll that attack. Those attacks.
That might not be. One's super great at a 24. The other one not as so great with a 15.
That'll both hit.
Okay.
So Horde Breaker 1 and then the buddy behind him that's your first attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a second attack.
That's right.
Or
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's gonna be
You can Horde Breaker twice
and then
now?
Yes, that's correct. So it'd be Horde Breaker twice. So I'll just for brevity, I'll just knock this out for you.
Thanks.
So, first set of damages is a 8 and a 7. No joke. It's the exact same attack roll. On the die.
And which two are you hitting on your second Horde Breaker?
And I mean, is that mechanically? I've never done this. Horde Breaker extra attack.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because your Horde Breaker is one attack, and now you have two attacks.
So like.
Does that sound right to everybody?
As an attack action.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I would interpret it. You have two attacks, you Horde Breaker with each one.
And it was the exact same dice roll.
And is it the exact same two targets?
Yeah, actually it was flip-flop. So, what was that, 24 and 15?
They both hit, but who are you shooting at?
The same two,
The same two.
if they didn't down on my first attack.
They're still up.
Yeah, so then they'll both take max on one, which is 11, and then 9.
So yeah, both of those attacks, bam, bam, one, bam, bam, the other.
And then I'll move left into the room.
And
My left.
you have those ghouls. You can tell that they're covered in this gross ichor as they come for you. But it is Nars' turn. What'll you do?
Looking like a firebolt. I'll just firebolt the one closest to me.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay. Yeah. 15
Hits.
and 12 damage.
That kills it.
Hell yeah.
How do you do that? How does it go down?
Firebolt extends from my hand and then hits the center of its chest, and it burns from the inside out.
And flesh falls away and it falls down dead. One more. Go ahead and finish your turn if you have anything else you'd like to do.
No, that's it. Stay where I am.
Thardin's up next.
All right.
You're looking at two of them.
He's going to charge up.
Engage with the closest one.
Yep, he's going to strike that one.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay, so does a 20 hit.
Yes,
All right. And the second attack was a 19.
that also hits.
So with his long sword, he slashes at the first one.
So wait, is this the magic longsword?
Yes.
The new one, the one you bought off Is It Gold?
Yeah. And that does 10. So it does 24 points of damage.
That's enough to kill it.
Strikes.
So you see the paladin run up and just carve this thing up with his new sword. I don't think he's even killed anything with it. This is the first thing, the foe that he has put down with this magic longsword. And he just cuts pieces off of it and it falls down motionless. And it is now dead. You have...
And I ready my shield for the next incoming attack.
Which is incoming now. He will move up at you and try to lash out at you with his claws. And he rolls a 10, which will not hit. The rest of them are dead. It is Willow's turn again. What do you do?
Alrighty.
Put it out of its misery.
Oh, I was gonna cast Bless on Myrin and let him take care of it.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not pressing my luck.
You can cast Bless on 3, up to 3.
Yeah, I'll cast.
What? But it has to be in a range. It's probably in the range.
It's a 30-foot range.
Yeah, you're definitely in range to bless all 3 of your friends.
I'll bless all 3 of them.
So everybody has a D4. Not that they're gonna need it in the next 10 minutes. Maybe. Who knows? What does that last? 10 minutes? Anyway, Myrin, you're blessed. Go ahead and take this fucking thing out.
The bless.
Actually, last one, but either way.
1 minute. He's blessed for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless for
Whole
an attack.
minute.
So you're all blessed for just a minute. Go ahead and take your turn,
The
Myrin.
bless. Alright, so first attack 20 freaking 8
Yeah, you don't need the bless. You've hit the thing.
for
Roll
the
the
bless.
bless anyway.
Roll the bless anyways.
It's
30. Let's just go ahead and just give it a hard 30.
The ghoul takes one and the kisser. And you attack again. Go ahead and roll both attacks. And then roll damage and see where we're at.
Alright, yeah. So, yeah, it's the damage on the first one was a 6.
Yep.
And then my my extra attack came to a 18
To hit.
with a 8.
It hits. Roll damage.
8 on damage.
Oh, 8 on damage.
Yeah.
Alright. It's not quite enough to take it out, but you draw twice.
8 damage, or it was 8 plus 6 total.
Yeah, I got both of those. And you definitely see it covered in its own sick after the both of the violet bolts flash on impact, but it doesn't quite take it out. It's still up and it's still coming at Thardin. Will you do anything else on your turn?
Be discouraged. In my turn.
Bonus action.
As a bonus action.
As a bonus action, Myrin expresses discouragement.
To do anything else.
Go ahead and end your turn there, and that brings us to Nars.
A Firebolt, 26 to hit.
It hits.
And... oh, that is a terrible roll. 3 damage.
So the firebolt springs out of your finger and it flies at the thing and hits it, and it sets it on, it singes it, sets it on fire and damages it a bit. And what else will you do on your turn?
Well, that's it.
And that brings us to Thardin Silverhammer.
Right.
It's-
Attack, lad.
You're looking at it. You're looking at a ghoul that's been battered by your friends, and you know it's barely still on its feet, but it looks like it could strike out at you if you don't do something fast.
All right. An 18 and a 15.
Hits.
All right.
And whatever damage you're rolling off that is, I'm sure, is enough to kill it.
21 points of
I
damage.
hope so.
Overkill with the final blow, but what do?
I take the sword and I thrust it right through its chest up to its skull and pull it out fast.
And taking what's left of its undeath away from it, it falls down in a bloody, ichory mass on the ground, and we'll call it there after the party has encountered its first bit of ghoulish interlopers.
Throw more additive. I knew it needed that much.
You can kind of test the hardiness of the ghouls, I guess, with this first little encounter. But so our party has traveled. It's the afternoon hours. It's traveled most of the day and shown up at Axeholm and managed to get inside without making a sound and come upon its first victims in this room. That's what the room looks like that you're in. And we'll call it there, and we'll come back next week and see if we can clean out some more evil from Axeholm.
I'm just happy we don't suck at combat anymore.
Level 5, everybody, is a more powerful level than level 3.
Multi-attacks, more
And
damage,
4.
better hit rolls.
Yeah.
Right.
Feels good. Feels good taking out ghouls easily.
I guess. I gotta bounce.
All right. Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
You
As
too.
do
Enjoy the
we.
holidays.
Yeah.